Okay, so today's this week current affairs. So we'll take on Karnataka Hijab Ban. So the issue is Karnataka government issued an order. So wearing an hijab, so they restricted wearing hijab in the school premises, in the pre-university colleges. So they restricted the wearing of hijab. So now what happened? So they went to the Karnataka High Court. After going to the Karnataka High Court also, it was supported by Karnataka High Court. Then the case moved to Supreme Court. So recently Supreme Court gave a split verdict. What is a split verdict? We'll see. So it generally will have a, so there is no clear majority in the opinion in the bench when the judges were sitting. So if it is an even number of judges, so there is no majority opinion or majority vote on the judgment. So in this case there were two judges. So one judge is supporting wearing hijab, one judge is going against wearing hijab. Okay, so there is a split verdict. So generally the split verdict occurs when there is an even number of judges sits in a bench. So now what happened when there is a split verdict? What will happen now? So now it will go to an even odd number of judges sitting in a bench. So generally it will be a 3-judge bench or a 5-judge or 7-judge bench. It is going to, now the court is in the ball is in the court of CJI, Chief Justice of India. Okay. So now he will decide whether it should be 3 or 5 or when, how to take and everything. So for now, so on this case, on the hijab ban, so there was split verdict in Supreme Court. So as I told you earlier, we have also seen this Gnanvapi mosque case and Kashi Vishwanath. How we dealt that case? How we dealt that? So by observing the what are the Supreme Courts or the court or the judges' opinions, arguments, or the petitioners' arguments. So when we see from their perspective, we'll have a clear idea about the issue. Okay. So first we'll see. So this is, as I told you, more than 8 months after the Karnataka government banned the wearing of hijab. So in the state pre-university colleges, they are majorly state funded colleges. So the 2-judge bench of the Supreme Court delivered a split verdict. Okay. Yes. Okay. So the actual case, this is the actual case. So under Karnataka Education Act 1983, so the government can make rules. Under this act, the government or the state can issue directives or make rules to bring the, so how the government educational institutions should run, on what basis it should run under this act. If at all, if anything needed further, the state can issue any rules and regulations. The state had that power according to this act. Are you getting? Ee act prakaram state ki right untundi, it can make the rules and regulations. So under this act, based on this provision, so they made this. So they started saying in 2013, they said uniforms are compulsory for education institutions. They said uniforms are compulsory. Now under this only they said specifies that headscarf is not part of the uniform. They are saying first, they said in 2013 under this act, Karnataka state government made uniforms are compulsory first. Second, based on this only, they also added to this one that headscarf is not part of the uniform. So that where the issue started. So next what happened? The major thing, the major question here is what they are questioning in the court. So what is its essential religious practice? If anything that is essential religious practice, that can be allowed. So turban, 6-way turban. So it is an essential religious practice. It was agreed in our constitution and in successory convention. It was essentially religious practices, and people were allowed to wear turban in the government offices, colleges, schools, and everywhere. Okay. So now the question comes: is wearing a hijab is an essential religious practice or not? Is an essential religious practice or not? That is the question majorly. So on this, so now most of the people, the petitioners have to prove this is an essential religious practice, whereas no, it is not, or whether it is a question of essential religious practice or not. The Karnataka High Court decided it is not an essential religious practice. Are you getting what I am trying to say? This is an issue. So first it went to Karnataka High Court. It said it is not an essential religious practice for Muslims. Okay. So that can be protected under the constitution. This will be protected under the constitution, but says that this is not an essential. That is how Karnataka High Court observed this issue. E basis meda they try to observe that issue. So what are the present Supreme Court split verdict? So no need to remember the judges, but so he says, Hemant Gupta says, so the Karnataka order validating, he validated the Karnataka's order, it was only to promote uniformity and encouraging a secular environment. So he supported the hijab ban. He said it is just to bring uniformity in the class. That is the purpose of issuing an order by Karnataka government, which was also supported by Karnataka High Court. Okay. Now, so next Sudhanshu says, the Justice Sudhanshu, so he says, so the education of the girl child, all that matters here is education of a girl child. So he says, the Karnataka High Court deviated from the topic by questioning about essential religious practice. What is he saying? What is he saying? So the issue is not whether it is an essential religious practice or not. It is not about that. The Karnataka High Court deviated. He said it is about the choice, a matter of choice, a fundamental right to the girls and their dignity and privacy even when they are inside the schools. He supported Karnataka High Court judgment. He says Karnataka High Court deviated by looking the issue based on essential religious practice. Our topic may the choosy on that essential religious practice may the choosy Karnataka High Court deviate ayindi. The point here is not observing the essential religious practice, but ee case lo em chudalani chepparu, what they want to see, it is a matter of choice. It is a fundamental right. It is a girl's child's dignity and her privacy. So these are the two judges' observations in general. Now we'll go deep. So but before going into this, now tell me what are all the constitutional, see there he said here fundamental rights, it's all about fundamental rights. So what are all the fundamental rights that can be involved in this issue? Even the people from the online, they have to answer. Yeah, first and foremost, it's about the religion. So practice, profession, so everything that propagate, everything that first comes is, we can easily say Article 25. Next. Okay. One is Article 25. Then, okay, to some extent that is, yeah, where we can say privacy or dignity, but other than that, see there he is saying that uniformity, right to equality. So everyone in the class are same. So Article 14. So my choice of wearing dress, it could be anything. So right, freedom of speech and expression. So it is 19. So these are the major articles that were involved in this issue. Okay. So see, you only told all these articles what are involved. So let's think. So even from the we'll keep this case aside. I'm talking about this case in our class. It happened in our class. So we are going to the people who are going to judge this case. So these are the articles. So what are the things that thoughts will come to us? See, we came to know these are the articles that were involved. Correct? So what else we can say? Etla argue chestam based on these articles, wearing a hijab and not wearing a hijab. Etla argue cheyachu. See, the judges also will play with the same articles. So think. So no need to answer to me, but just I'll give you 2 minutes. Just think. how can he use, see later on, rape, when you're asking, when you're about to write an answer, a question in examination, so then also you have to produce answer. I always tell you guys, you know the content. When you know the basic concepts, you will have a good control over the subject. You can analyze, do that analysis. Article 19, freedom of speech and expression. So what this judge will say, who is supporting the wearing an hijab, he'll say it is a choice. Wearing a right to dress, it is her expression, it is her freedom. So that is under Article 19, he will say. So what he will say, so when we are looking into an Article 19 or Article 25, the state can impose some restrictions. So now we cannot deny the Article 14, right to equality. So he is, see, all these points are already known to you. You just have to think and put it in the right words, in a concise way, in a precise way. We'll see now. So these are the arguments that supporting the hijab ban, and these are the arguments against hijab ban. So first arguments that was going is constitutional promise of fraternity and dignity. It is not affecting the constitutional promise of fraternity and dignity. Instead, it is promoting those values. So the GO means the government's order, Karnataka government's order. So he is saying it is fraternity, the fraternity among the people. So it is protecting, it is not stopping the fraternity among the people and the dignity. So but Sudhanshu, the Justice Sudhanshu, he says it is against our constitutional value of fraternity and human dignity. So one is arguing it is against, another is saying it is not against. So first argument is based on what? Based on constitutional promise of fraternity and dignity first. Next, now we'll see how Article 14, 25, how they are playing this side and how they are playing on the other side. So what these people are saying? So it is promoting the uniformity and secular environment. It is in tune with Article 14, that we know. And they are also saying, when you're, see, what Article 25 says? Freedom of religion and conscience to also profess or propagate a religion or practice religion. So following Article 25 doesn't only mean that, see, we also have another clause in the Article 25, the state can impose restrictions, that is 2. So what they are saying, when you are following this, we also have to consider other restrictions laid by Article 21, that is restrictions are Article 21(1), and Article 25 clause 2 is the state can also make laws in the interest of social reform and welfare. 25(1) says we can impose, state can impose restrictions. 25(2) says the state can make laws for the promoting the welfare and reforms, to bring the reforms. So in any religion, okay. So this is what they are saying. So when you are following Article 14 or when you are following Article 25, we should not ignore Article 25(1), where state can impose restrictions. So the Karnataka government restrictions were valid under Article 25(1), and they are also valid under Article 25(2). Are you getting what I am trying to say here? It's pretty simple one. Next. So what these are saying? Chalo bhai, you are saying I can practice the religion, so it is freedom of religion and conscience. So she can wear a hijab in her house, outside the school, that's fine. But her practice, her conscience is stopped at the gates of, so her dignity, her see, it's about the privacy and dignity. So wearing a hijab is one of the reasons for this, for the dignity and privacy. So her dignity and privacy were protected outside the school gates. Till the school gate, she was able to protect her privacy and dignity. So entering into the class or the school premises, so it is lost. So she retains her fundamental. So we can't. So they are arguing based on her dignity and her privacy. So we can't restrict. here you can protect your privacy and dignity. After this premises, inside this premises, you can't protect. So it shouldn't be like that. It should be a fundamental right. It is her choice. See, I always tell you guys, you can use it in essays or anywhere. A religion which will not adapt to the changes, it will not adapt to the changes, current changes, that religion will die. Eventually that religion will die. This is what many people agreed. There's a saying actually. So I'm saying it in a simpler words for you. So it is believed that a religion which will not accept the changes or it doesn't change according to the recent situations, the religion will die. That is also in our history. See what happened. So there is, if you are looking into the ancient history. So earlier Rig Veda, Sama Veda, after Rig Vedas, so we have Mauryans. So in the Mauryan time, and the time what happened, little earlier also, before this post-Mauryan, sorry, pre-Mauryan age. So you will have pre-Mauryan, Mauryan's age. So here we have Vedic age. So what happened in the pre-Mauryan period time? So Brahmanism says you should not accept the loans or you should not borrow money. You should do human sacrifices. See, at the time cattle sacrificing, horse sacrificing were in the yajnas and yagas they used to do. So there are such type of restrictions were there in the Hinduism. So then what happened? And there's a casteism also steep growing rise. By the end of Rig Veda, Shudras, the four castes appeared. Sorry, four varnas appeared. So now what happened? So the lower one, he can't even listen to the Vedas. So now what happened? He is looking for another alternative. Then came the Buddhism and Jainism. See, at that time, in the pre-Mauryan period, 62 heterodox sects were developed. 62 heterodox sects. So one of them was Buddhism, Jainism, Ajvika sects. Such type of sects comes here. So Brahmanism is not allowing for the change. Buddhism says all are equal. I'll go to that side. And I'm a merchant. Let's think I'm a merchant or I belong to the Vaishyas community. So now they are saying that I can, see, I'm a businessman, so I want to borrow money, lend money and all these things. Brahmanism is saying don't do that, it's a sin. So I'll go to Buddhism because it is allowing. And I'm a merchant, I don't want wars. What I want peace. Because that only my market, my trade can flourish. Buddhism says no non-violence. So I'll follow Buddhism. I'm a farmer. My major asset is cattle. Hinduism is saying do yajnas and sacrifice the cattle. What I'll do? I'll follow Buddhism and Jainism. So when the religion is not adapting to the changes, so what happened in the Mauryan time in post? So Buddhism, all these things rised. Later on what happened? What happened to Buddhism and Jainism? I'm telling in a very simpler way for the class purpose. So what happened at that time? So Buddhism and Jainism, they changed. See, earlier they didn't like the rituals, so yagas and yajnas of the Hinduism. So people moved to Buddhism and Jainism. By this time, by post-Mauryans and especially Gupta time. By Gupta time, many practices came in Buddhism also. Mahayana Buddhism, they are worshipping God, Buddha. So that is not how they preached. So many things. So now earlier the Buddhist people won't accept any offerings and everything. Now they are taking money. So Mahayana Buddhist monasteries used to have a huge amount of money, lands and everything. So now again it is not adapting to the changes. Died. So a religion should adapt to the changes. Why I said is in the context of Iran. Iran is also the same issue is going in Iran about wearing a hijab. So what the people want? That was, see, what the people of that country or whether they want that strict regime or not, that's up to them, up to the people. So it should change. No one should impose on anything, especially our constitution will not allow it. It should be the choice. By choice it should be. Anyways, I'm not talking about here whether to wear hijab or not or whatever. So here we are majorly talking about arguments of both the sides. So in the before argument we talked about Article 14, Article 25 and 22, that is supporting the hijab ban. So where they are saying it is based on her dignity and her privacy. So it need to be protected inside the school premises also. So it is to protecting her fundamental rights. So next, so the other point here is right of expression to dress as per one's own will. So this is under Article 19. So under Article 19 we have this provision. They are saying Article 19 will not, we can't impose it in a full-fledged way. We have to consider it with, along with other articles also. So under Article 19(1)(a), but has regulated the same in the manner during the school hours on working days. So what they are asking, we are protecting it, but what they are asking is in a manner during the school hours, only on working days, the students shall wear uniform as prescribed. Okay. So to ensure students wear the uniform as prescribed does not violate the freedom granted under 19(1)(a). What they are saying here, what they are saying, so wearing a uniform on a wearing a school uniform, it's not violating the freedom of speech. That is according to him. So here what they are saying on the other way, so citizen, what it will give? Free we can have a freedom of profession, practice and propagation of religion. It does not speak about essential religious practice. If the belief is sincere and it harms no one else, there can be no justifiable reason for wearing a hijab. So wearing it doesn't harm anyone. It's not affecting my profession or practice or propagation of any other religion in the class. It's not affecting. So we can, under this article, we can allow. See, the same article, how the two judges interpreted. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Under Article 25, he said, so we can impose restrictions. The state can impose restrictions because we have to follow under Article 14 to bring the uniformity in the class. The state can impose restrictions. He is saying it does not speak about essential religious practice, and it is not, no harm was done by wearing a scarf in the class. And some even says that wearing a dupatta like this or towards or moving around the head, how does it matter? That is an argument by some petitioners. The real test of true democracy is the ability of even an insignificant minorities find its identity under country's constitution. What is the beauty of our especially our fundamental rights? Why? It will bring the political democracy in our country. Every minority, either it is based on the language or the religion or any small caste, Sikhs, every small minorities, the tribals, everyone were protected on our fundamental rights. That's the beauty of our constitution. That's the strength of our country. So they are saying that, so it is a real threat to our democracy because we have to protect the minorities under the constitution, country's constitution. And they also say, Supreme Court Judge Sudhanshu also observes that, so our tradition teaches tolerance, our philosophy preaches tolerance, and our constitution practices tolerance. So it is based on these observations, we should allow to protect our constitution, or to the values enshrined in our constitution need to be protected. And he also observes one more thing. See, this is the other major point that he raises. The girl child have to, especially in the rural and semi-rural areas, they have to perform the household work. They have to perform the household work, they have to travel distances, so the colleges won't be available in the nearby. So, and then they will attend the classes. So it is important for them to get to the schools or colleges. So we cannot stop them. We cannot stop them basing on wearing a hijab. So he says, so my major intention is we should not see that whether we are making the life of a girl child any better by denying her education. So when, see, many people stopped coming to colleges after the issue in Karnataka. Is this why we are making the rules? Stopping her from coming to colleges? Based on wearing a small scarf around the head or not? Whether it bring the uniformity in the class or not? So that is how the arguments on the other side. But these people were saying on the side, so it is about bringing the uniformity. So wearing in hijab doesn't mean that they are not denying her attending the school or her education. He is saying it will stop their education. He is saying that, so this act will not stop the education. So it is not denying the people from attending the classes. So this act or this order or government order is not denying the or education. Now, see, there is a case in Emmanuel case. So it happened in Kerala. What was that case? So it was long back. The case was occurred. So in that case, so Jehovah Witnesses, they follow a sect. They follow a sect. So I don't want to go what is this Jehovah and everything. So two children, the sisters, they are sisters. So one is 9th and the other is the 5th class. They are not singing national anthem. So when the school assembly was connecting, when all are singing national anthem, they are not singing national anthem in the school. So they were suspended. Along with other 15 students were also suspended who follows the same Jehovah's Witness. What they do, so they are not singing, but they, out of respect for the national anthem, they used to stand. They won't sing, but they used to stand. So that was not, because of that reason they were suspended from the school, and that case went to the High Court. So then what they did, see, it's for us, we won't pray any other god or any other witnesses. So national anthem is like a prayer. We won't sing any song other than our God. National anthem is a prayer. So out of that respect, we are standing. So that is an argument. So what happened? So in this, the Supreme Court observed that, so we can, based on this clause, reasonable accommodation, we can accommodate such type of practices in India. What I am trying to say is, in this case, you understood the case, right? They are not singing a national anthem, but they are standing out of respect, but they are suspended. So that case went to the court. So there what they said, the court said, yes, they may not, they don't need to sing a national anthem, but is okay because under reasonable accommodation, we are known for our tolerance. Under accommodation, we can accommodate. They're having a respect, so that is enough. So for the tolerance, they're having the tolerance. So we'll help establish our principles of our constitution, where we have to accommodate everyone. Even it is a small sect, small number of people, we have to accommodate everyone. That was the decision that took in this Emmanuel case. So he is saying, when we use it a reasonable accommodation in this case, why don't we use it in the hijab ban? Are you getting what I am trying to say here? Here they are saying that it is a reasonable accommodation. We have to show tolerance. Why don't you show the tolerance and reasonable accommodation in this case? Do you know what happened after this judgment? The judgment is in favor of the girls. They attended this class only one day after that incident. So all those students who were under this, they stopped the formal education. See, bringing the especially girl child to the higher education is a difficult one, and nowadays it is increasing. We don't want them to go away from the formal education, formal higher education. So he says, based on this is the clause that was observed, right? So one, and second, in this case, those two girl child did not attend the formal education, did not take the formal education. So we should not see the same situation by banning the hijab. That was said by the one who is against hijab ban. So I told you what is a split verdict. So it is now the case may heard by the larger bench. So it will be decided by the. So what are the things that we have learned in this case? If it is a question that was, anyways, see why I took this topic is, we are going to hear more about this issue coming days, because it will go to the larger bench. Then this issue will come again before you are writing your mains only. So at that time, so if you know all this issue clearly, so you can argue, you can think about that issue. So anyways, for now, so what are the arguments majorly? One is based on constitutional promise of fraternity and dignity. He is saying it is protecting. He is saying it is against our constitutional fraternity. So the other argument is it is protecting this act, this government order is maintaining the Article 14 and Article 25(1), the state can impose restrictions. Article 25(2), the state can make laws for the interest of social reforms and welfare. So that is here argument. And what is the argument over that side? They are saying, so and Article 25 does not include essential religious practice. So there is no harm or there is no justifiable reasons for banning hijab in the classroom. Just by banning, so we have to protecting her dignity and privacy outside the premises and not allowing it in the school. It is not equality. It is not under the Article 25 or not protecting Article 19. That is the other side argument. So, and they also says tolerance is also our motto, our constitutional motto, and protecting minorities. Okay. So, here they are saying it will deny the education, formal education for the girl child. Here it is saying that it is not denying them education. So, in this case, in order to write the case in the examination, you can just say in this case, the Supreme Court observed, so understanding the tolerant and reasonable accommodation, so which can be same, can be followed in the present case also. Clear? Everyone? Shit. Okay, we have to be a little faster. So, Raitu Bharosa Kendras. So, this topic is majorly helpful for in the Group 1 exam, definitely. So, why we are taking now is, so this is a type of program that was unique in India. So, most likely to be followed by other states in the coming days. See, midday meal, it was started in Tamil Nadu first. Later on, all over the country, we followed it. So, this is a type of program. So, that was seeing a good results. So, that is most likely it will be implemented by other states also. That is a major reason we are seeing, and it is also in the news because Ethiopian delegation visited Andhra Pradesh and they also visited few Raitu Bharosa Kendras. So, what happening in these Raitu Bharosa Kendras? So, as I told you, it is a unique in our country for the first time. From seeds to sale. From seeds to sales. So, it is a single window service center for farmers. So, what is here seeds to sales? Whether the seeds are a good quality or not. So, whether there is any adulteration that happened in the seeds or not, that will be checked and that will be sold by this Raitu Bharosa Kendras. Pre-tested quality seeds, certified fertilizers, certified animal feed. And not only that, after producing, what will happen? See, they also, whenever you are taking a topic, I always wanted you to develop a framework. So, first time forming chedanki seeds. It is a service center, double service matrame istar. So, it is not like a bank or it will not provide any loans to the farmers. So, it is a service center. So, what will happen in the service center? So, they will give information to the farmers and the seeds. So, what will here? They will sell seeds. I sowed the seeds. What I need? Fertilizers. A farmer, from the farmer's perspective. So, what I need? See, which crop do I have to? Which crop do I have to? For that, there is an soil testing. And after, when I am growing and whenever I am growing a crop, what I need? I need equipment. Technology and equipment. How the technology also comes, what it also includes? How to do, what to do, what are the methods that can improve the productivity of a crop, all these things will come. Next, after equipment, what we need? I need to harvest. Harvesting also we need a good equipment. And then what else we need? We need to sell the product. So, marketing. What is marketing? See, whenever, if you think like this, if I ask you to write what are the problems of farmers in India, problems means the fertilizers are very bad, they are not working. We'll write one point about equipment and technology, we'll write points about seeds, we'll write point about marketing, about loans, about money. So, now writing 10 points about what are the problems of farmers facing in India is very easy. What are the solutions of farmers facing in India or the initiatives? It is also easy. What? We'll write again seeds, fertilizer, water, one drop. So, water we also need, electricity. Are you getting what I'm trying to say here? This time they asked a question about this farming system. So when you're reading a topic, what you have to do, you have to start from the first, the supply chain, the front, the backward and the forward supply chains. If you observe, you can write one point about everything. Problems, each point. What are the government initiatives about all these things? What are the other solutions, other recommendations you want to give? One about each one. Are you getting what I'm trying to say here? మీకు ప్రాసెస్ని ఈజీ చేస్తున్నాను. ఎట్లాగా, ఏదైనా సరే దీనికనే కాదు, ఫుడ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ అయినా కానీ, ఫుడ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ ద క్వశ్చన్ వాజ్ ఆస్క్డ్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద స్కోప్ అండ్ సిగ్నిఫికెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫుడ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ, డైరెక్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ అడిగారు మనకి మెయిన్స్లో. సో ఫుడ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్కి ఏం చేయాలి, ఫుడ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ ఇటు సైడ్ ఏం ఇష్యూస్ ఉంటాయి, ప్రాసెసింగ్కి ఇటు సైడ్ ఏం ఇష్యూస్ ఉంటాయి. సో ఫుడ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్లో మనం మార్కెటింగ్ చేయడం కంటే మేజర్ ఇష్యూ ఇండియాలో మనం ఎప్పుడు గ్రేడింగ్ చేయము. సో ఆలు ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, ఆలుని లో క్వాలిటీ ఆలు, సైజ్ ఆఫ్ ఆలూస్, సో ఇట్లా డిఫరెంట్ గ్రేడింగ్ చేస్తాం, అది మనం చెయ్యం. దట్ ఈస్ అ మేజర్. సో అది ఇటు సైడ్ ఆఫ్ ఫుడ్ చైన్ వస్తుంది. సో మనం ఎవ్రీ సెక్షన్లో, ఎవ్రీ ఇంటర్సెక్షన్లో ఇఫ్ యూ థింక్ అ పాయింట్, యూ కెన్ రైట్ ఇట్. ఓకే, ఎనీవేస్ కమింగ్ బ్యాక్. సో what the services they are going to provide here? Seeds, fertilizers, and they also provide the equipment both for purchasing and also for rental purposes, hiring purposes. They'll provide equipment, this kendras, and they'll also buy the product with the minimum support price. Which crop, soil testing, and make recommendations on which crop to sow and quantity, type of fertilizers to be used. All these things, information will be given to the farmers. So later on, crop insurance and procuring grains, and they'll also make payments. We'll see that payments will be done by the CM app, through which they will pay the payments to farmers. Okay. So please go through this. It is a very simple topic. So but I want you to know this topic that is existed, because it is important for both UPSC and Group 1. And what is the major purpose of this Ethiopian delegation visiting? They want to make an MOU with the state government and also with the center. Okay. So integrated call center. So it was established in Gannavaram. So what is this integrated call center? How does it work? So in that, so they'll have a scientist. So they'll have this BSc and MSc agricultural trained personnel. So whenever we can make calls, we can take the advices. So all the queries related to farming, like horticulture, sericulture, veterinary, fisheries and marketing. So any technical queries, so these people will provide the information. Along with the scientists, we also have graduates who had experience. So that way this integrated call center works. Okay, we can call anytime, any farmer can call and take the technical advice from these people. Flex fuel technology. What is this flex fuel technology? So it was in the news because we are going to get our first flex fuel car which run on ethanol blended petrol and a battery. So we are importing it from Brazil. Even though US is having good number of using these flex vehicles, flex fuel vehicles, Brazil is the master in this technology and also production. Okay, so what is this flex fuel? See, our present vehicles, they'll run either on petrol or on diesel or on ethanol blending, but these one will run on both. The car that using this flex fuel technology will run on both. If I'm having today ethanol blending or 10% of ethanol blended petrol, and the next time I have 100 pure percent petrol, it will work for both. అర్థమవుతుందా? బ్లెండ్ చేసిన పెట్రోల్ని యూజ్ చేస్తే రన్ చేస్తుంది, 100% పెట్రోల్ యూజ్ చేస్తే రన్ చేస్తుంది. అండ్ ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ ఐ యూజ్ ఇథనాల్ ఫర్ ద రన్నింగ్, ఇట్ విల్ రన్. సో ఇట్స్ ఇస్ ఫ్లెక్సిబుల్. Flex fuel means flexible fuel technology. So what it is, as I told you, it can run more than one type of fuel or even a combination of fuels. See, as I already told you, we have already had a topic, blended biodiesel. Remember? So last month current affairs. So we also have a national policy on biofuels, where we have to go for 20% ethanol blending. So this is our future. So as I told you, so they can use a version of blend of petrol and ethanol or methanol, and they also run on 100% petrol or ethanol. So what is happening here? So this is a basic picture of this topic. We are not going into any technology or anything. What it does, it calculates the amount of fuel needed for the correct mixture. So whether it is how much fuel, whether ethanol blending, if I am having ethanol blending, see ethanol blending will have, it will take more moisture. It will create more moisture in the fuel tank. So more moisture in the fuel tank, it will, deposits will be created in the fuel tank. That will affect. So this have to, the calculation of amount of fuel needed to correct mixture, either the ethanol or the petrol, the blending or anything. So it will decide accordingly, the system will change, and accordingly a new fuel command recognizes the characteristics of new fuel. A fuel blend aitundi kada, a mixture, adi etla undi ela ani recognize chesi, according to that engine will work. Basic thing. They will observe, that engine will observe the mixture, whether it is ethanol or methanol or how much percentage of petrol. Okay, so that will observe, and then it will generate an new fuel, and accordingly the command unit will send the things to the engine. So that is what here saying. So what it will have? Fuel mix sensor. The sensor should detect, so how much is ethanol or how much is petrol, so how the fuel should run, and engine control module programming that detects and adjusts for any ratio of designated fuels. Okay, what it is majorly used for? To reduce our country's reliance on imported crude. As I said, Brazil is the biggest market and leader in this segment. See, very simple guys. Meer cheppandi naku, what we have learned here, it is a flex fuel. The name itself is indicating. So it can be used for one or more than type of fuel. So for that, what we need in technology lo em undali? Fuel mix sensor undali. A sensor that detects the fuel mix, and then that should be sent to an engine control module, and then so that it will adjust to the any ratio of designated fuels. This is the technology, that is the purpose. These are the benefits. So what are the advantages? As I told you, so we'll reduce the simple, we can write, it will reduce the harmful pollutants, reduce oil imports, reduce on the depending upon other countries for the imports. So but what is the major problem that we are facing here is, see, till now we don't have such type of vehicles in India, except there is a limited edition of TVS Apache RTR motorcycle, except these type of vehicles are not available in India first. So as I told you, the ethanol has a tendency to absorb moisture, making it difficult to store in pure form. So and the fuel tanks will get affected. Fuel tank, base of the fuel tank, and contaminating the engine, impurities will settle. So next, this is one major issue. So ethanol blending, 10% of ethanol blending is not available. So it will be available by 2022. But our target is 20% ethanol blending by 2025. What is our government's target? 20% blending. So all vehicles manufactured since 24 are E10 compatible. Now we are looking for E100, like 100% ethanol. So we have to accumulate, or the technology should accumulate these type of features in the coming future. Okay. So this is the problems are also discussed. See, the flex fuel vehicle typically loses 4 to 8% of its fuel efficiency. So other thing is, major thing that why we are having problems with ethanol blending is, see, one is crops like sugarcane will produce good amount of ethanol or methanol from the sugarcane, whereas sugarcane is an water intensive crop. India want to reduce its water intensive crops because of our present conditions. So, but this is the, so this type of programs or this type of cars we want more number of ethanol. More number of ethanol means, so the second generation of biofuels, if you remember, second generation of biofuels, I told you 4 generation of biofuels, please revise them. So sugarcane, we'll use a sugarcane what we'll say, crab, other than so other products of byproducts of sugar cane, so will be used to generate an biofuels. So that is another major problem in India. So ethanol is a major problem. So next one is online gaming. Why we have this? So it is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology decided they need a legislation to regulate online gaming. So what we have to regulate here? See, we know that there are many issues were taking place, societal issues, social issues on online gaming. First of all, what type of online gaming we have? Esports. Esports means PUBG. So where they'll professionals or individual players or then team players, they will come together. So Fortnite, such type of games where they will be shooting battlefields and everything. So see, there is a tournament that will be conducted for PUBG also. So such type of sports were esports. Fantasy sports are like, how many of you will play fantasy sports? Fantasy sports are like, suppose I'm an IPL was going on. So now I want to create a team. So I'm suppose Hyderabad or whatever the team, Mumbai team or anything. So I will say this player Rohit Sharma, he want to come in this order, or I want to be this to be a defender. Mumbai team lo veelunte baguntundi. This is a, so you will predict the team. You'll also say how they're going to win. So that is a prediction and that is how the people will play. Those are fantasy sports. అర్థమవుతుందా? నేను డిసైడ్ చేస్తాను టీం ఎలా ఉండాలి, ఎవరెవరు ఉంటున్నారు అని. ఎవరెవరు ఇట్లా ఆడతారో అని చూస్తాం. నేను ఆడి చూపించి సో ఇట్ విల్ కంపేర్ విత్ దెమ్. సో ఈ ఆర్డర్లో ఎవరు వస్తే బాగుంటుంది, నేను టీం డిసైడ్ చేస్తాను. హూ షుడ్ బి ద ప్లేయర్, who will be the in which order, how to play, who should be the wicket keeper. So we are making a team. That will happen in the footballs also. It is very famous in football. Who should be the defenders? See, 15 players or 20 players. I have to pick out of these 20 players. I have to pick the defenders or front ever undali, goalkeeper ever undali. That will be decided. So manam decide chestam. So but the coach or whatever the manager, they will decide something else. Just comparison and playing a game. So our game ni mana game ni compare chesi manaki score istaru. Those were fantasy sports. Online casual games are those games like patas, the card games or any other games, casual games. But what is the problem here is there is nothing wrong with playing card games and online, but when the betting involves, that is an issue with the online casual games. Okay. So now, why? What is the issue here? So this is the societal concerns. There are majorly two issues. Online games unnai. What we saw till now, what are the online games? Next, what are the issues? Societal issues. What are the societal issues? These games are leading to suicides into the country. How many times we have heard that child had drawn 16 lakhs from the bank account of his father to play PUBG game, and some even killed the mother. Okay, these are the concerns. So they are looking for an regulatory framework. There is need to be a regulatory framework. There is need to be a body which controls or which put a restrictions on the online games. This is societal concerns first. Second, Indian gaming market, online gaming market is increasing rapidly. So it is exceeded 1.5 billion in 2022 and 5 billion it is going to be in 2025. So it is 8% in China and 10% in the US, but we have 38% increase. And even if you take the new paying users, it's the fastest in the world. We are paying in game and playing the games. We are the fastest. 38% increase. They expect it to increase. So economical reasons, huge money is involved. And when it is a involvement of gambling or betting or the online games, see they go out the borders also, international borders. It will cross the borders online. So there is a need for regulatory framework. One reason for the societal reasons, other reasons is huge amount of money is involved and we want to have a tax on this. We need a tax on this amount that we are going to generate. It was expected that states are expecting, the states 30,000 crore rupees are involved in online games. So when it is 30,000 crores, so why we want to lose that tax on that huge amount? So when these are the problems, what is then, so how the solution should be, whether it is to be a central level law or not, whether center should make a law or states. Actually it is an state subject, especially under gambling and betting, it comes under the state subject. But these online gaming will cross, as I said, it cross the borders. So for certain rules like geo-blocking certain apps or websites within the territory of the states is not possible. They'll go beyond, and it will be difficult for the states to have a control or monitoring of these games. Such why? And sometimes we have to go for offshore betting sites, so outside the country. So when it's going outside the country, there is a need for the center to enter into the situation. So people are looking for a central level law on this online gaming. Next. So as I told you, a task force was set for the issue. So what is it saying? It is, what is the recommendations of this body? Nodal ministry to regulate online gaming. So what should be that ministry? It is MAIS. And then we need for a central level law. Why we need a central level law? Because of the all the resources are not with the state, and also when there is an offshore betting, the state cannot regulate when it is across the borders. So there is need for a central law and creating a regulatory body for the online industry and establishing a 3-tier dispute resolutions. And another thing is, as I said you, it is going beyond borders, beyond the country. So then what law we can bring them under? Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2022. Under this we also have to make a provision for online game. Okay, that means we have to observe this online gaming under Money Laundering Act also. They can use, huge amount of money is involved, they can use it for money laundering. So we have to protect that from this act. And see, we also changing our IT Act. Our IT Act is weak. That is what we are observing from many years. So now the proposed Digital Indian Law. Digital Indian Law is going to be are going to appear, like it was going to be introduced, proposed. So instead of our IT Act. So for that reason, we also have to bring this betting apps under Digital Indian Law, or the present it was IT Act. So here I just want to, this is another news, that is one news, that is the news of recommendations of task force, how we have to regulate the online games. This is another news where it is saying a group of ministers were looking at a tax rate. So now at present it was 18% and now they want to increase it for 28%. So not only online games but also other things, that is race courses, casinos. They want to include, ministers want to tax on casinos, online gaming and race courses. At present it attracts 18%, online gaming attracts 18%. Now they want to include it to gambling, race clubs, everything to 28%. This was they want amount tax they want to impose. Why I am telling you this is how that fastly and how much money is involved in this industries, casinos, online games and race courses. Prime Minister Divine Program. So what it is a Prime Minister Development Initiative for Northeast region. See, Northeast region, most of the time, we'll have a question on Northeast region either in the prelims or in the mains. Either it should be for the development or it will be for their rivers or maps or for the mountains. So we have or for the national parks or for the animals that were available only in the northeastern region. Okay, such type of. So we have to always keep a note of especially initiatives that were taking in northeastern region. So what is this? It is majorly creation of infrastructure. See, majorly it is a development initiative. They want to create a development initiative in northeastern region. For that they created a program. So already in the state budget, when was introduced a budget, this program was included in our budget, in the center budget. So 15th Finance Commission was left with more 4 years. In those 4 years, they want to complete this program. And this was the amount that was given, allocated under this program. What they'll do under this program? They'll create infrastructure, support industries, social developmental projects, They want to create livelihood activities for youth and women, and not only that, healthcare centers and also construction of government schools. They want to create this infrastructure with the amount of 6,600 crores. Now, what is the issue here? It is a central sector scheme. That means 100% from the central funding. What is the ministry who will implement this? It is Ministry of Development of Northeastern region, and we also have Northeastern councils. So, along with this ministry and this council will come together and will develop this infrastructure. Fine. Madam, we'll 4 years in the money in the infrastructure. So, why I am saying that is, they want to complete this project by 2025. So, there are no committed liabilities beyond this year. So, after 2025, 26, there won't be any committed liabilities. So, they have to finish the projects. This ministry and Northeastern Council, they have to finish the projects in this time. So, they majorly looking for engineering, procurement, construction basis. What is it? See, economy paper, GS paper 3 mains, you have a topic, public-private partnership. So, there are many ways of public-private partnership. One of it way is engineering, procurement, construction. What will happen? We will invite, general itlanti EPC programs lo, how many of you have observed while coming from this Telugu Tali flyover towards this our RTC crossroads or the Ashok Nagar. So, on your left side, you will have like almost when you're like coming down, you are almost there. So, you will find 2 stones, inaugurating stones. In that they wrote turnkey. This is a turnkey based program contract. It was done by these contractors. The company name they will give. What is a turnkey? This engineering, procurement, construction is also known as turn-a-key. Generally, they will call turnkey. TU or in turn key. Okay. Observe when you're coming now. At least observe. This is what will happen here. The private player will call the private player. They will do the engineering work. They'll procure all the resources that were needed. Engineering work procured, and they'll do construction. And after construction, they will maintain the commission. Commissioning means so how the operations were run and how the maintenance will done. And after that, the private player will hand over that project to government or the concerned people. They'll do the private player in the doubleism. We won't involve in anything. So that is sometimes it will happen. Sometimes what will happen? We'll ask them to collect the money. See, some tolls untai kada. So toll collect chestunnaru. That is another way of private investment. So what will happen? They will construct a road. Engineering aina, road maintenance and outer ring road maintenance, everything will be done by the private. So how will I get money? By tolls. I'm a private player, I will get the money by tolls. That is another way of private investment. Here it is engineering, procurement, construction and commissioning the project. They'll start the project, and after commissioning and after running well and maintenance, then they will hand it over to the public. So they are saying, so coming back, so they are saying the projects, these are the infrastructure projects which we are going to take place under this program. So they will majorly done by the EPC basis. As much as possible, they'll do this by EPC. So what is the significance of this? See, these states, especially northeastern states, were below on many indicators. They were, or especially minimum services, they were below the national average. They were below the national average. So that is the reason why we want to develop this. See, do you know there are states in northeastern region, especially if you take Meghalaya, their official language is English. The people have good, they can talk good English. See, especially BPOs, IT sector will work very well in northeastern region, but people will not opt to that, companies will not opt to that region because lack of infrastructure and lack of law and order. Most of them there is insurgent groups earlier, especially now that was reduced a little bit, but still there is a law and order issues in that region. So that is the reason why the companies were not opting going to that region. So good English speaking people. So what they need is good education and also so infrastructure. So by developing a good infrastructure, what will happen? They can attract companies, private investments, private companies. So in that way they can provide livelihood, employment. When employment and livelihood comes, development. When development comes, people will not be interested to join any insurgent groups. So we'll take this topic next week, NPS. And one more thing I want to tell you guys, see, I'm not covering those type of topics like appointment of CGI or collegium system, or if I take capital expenditure, how it is running. I'm not taking such type of topics because they were already covered in the classes. What is capital expenditure, what is revenue and revenue expenditure, physical deficit, all these things. Repeating them again in the class is no use. So when you understand the topics, when you read the current affairs, you can understand. See, topics like hijab or what are the topics I'm getting, those topics will be very difficult for you to consolidate the information, especially if you take the hijab and those type of things. And why I brought this Raitu Bharosa Kendras means you should know what is happening in Andhra Pradesh also. I heard many people are not keeping a track of those type of things. That is one reason. So, and see, probably the questions like this, which I want to take this Telemanas, where we'll be majorly looking for mental health. In a paper 2, we have a topics, poverty, unemployment, education, health. Such topics were there in GS Mains paper 2. This year we got a question on disabilities. Okay. So, and many, like what I can say, strong point when people of Indian health sector, if you take, one is non-communicable diseases. Indian health sector is suffering with majorly issues like non-communicable diseases, heart deaths due to heart attack or diabetes. Those are increasing. That is one. And second is mental health issues. So we can get probably the acts under this, or what are the programs, or what are the initiatives under this. మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఇట్లాంటివి పెద్ద పెద్ద హెల్త్ సెక్టర్లో టాపిక్స్ చదువుకొని ఇట్లాంటి చిన్న చిన్నవి మిస్ అవుతాము. They'll give the type of questions. As we have seen disabilities, there are questions about the old age people. Already questions were asked. Okay, so don't see, when you're seeing a topic, you should think where can this topic will fit, whether they can form a mains question or not. See, getting a prelims question on this is less likely, we won't get, but mains question, yes, especially under GS paper 2. Okay, so when you're reading, please keep this in the mind. Okay guys, thank you.